just some ideas on how to approach a practical test, how to approach the questions you're given, which are quite different to the way they appear in the practical. Okay, so the question starts off at the top with generally something like, prepare the following remedy like baryta carb in such and such potency, such and such. Now that start over there on the top of the page or the top of the question is actually the end point. That's what you've got to make right at the end. So have a quick look at that, but don't concentrate on that. Rather go down and look at the bottom of the page where you will find something called the given. Usually in bold letters. The given is actually what you're starting with. That's the start point. And with the given, you're going to firstly have a look at what is the given. What is it? So it could be a mother tincture, it could be a salt, it could be a triturate, it could be a remedy that is already potentized to a certain degree. Okay. Having had a look at what it is, that will really start to give you clues on how to go forward. To approach a triturate is different to the way you approach a salt, a triturate, and is the way you approach a salt. We start off in quite different ways, and you need to know how to approach each of these. So the first thing to do is find out what substance are you starting with? What are you going to have to do with that? The second thing is kind of what potency are we looking at? And what scale? So the potency at the moment could be 1 in 10, often with a mother triturate, or often if it's a salt, then we know that it is the substance itself. It's not in any potency yet. Triturates are commonly 3CH, but they may be 4CH as well. Could be 5 or 6CH, but common one would be a 3CH. So having known what the potency is, we also need to know is on what scale it is. So at the moment the options are, it could be in the C scale or the X scale. Now you need to go and have a look at where you want to end up, the end point, which is what you are asked to prepare. You need to now look at your end point, what you need to prepare. Is that going to be in the X scale or is it going to be in the C scale? So in the case of where we were given the mother tincture already as 1 in 10, so we understand that to be X, 1X, 1XH, then provided we need to produce something in the X scale, it would be quite simple to go carry along on the X scale or the X road and end up at the correct endpoint with our correct potency and volume and in the right format as we were asked to prepare. But let us say we were starting off over here on the X scale and we actually need to end up here in the C scale. So now we're going to have to change this road and we're going to have to apply some form of a bridge to get across here and to move onto the C road and eventually finish up with the end point, the required product that we want to deal with. Okay, so I think at this point I'll leave it like that, and I hope this just helps you approach your questions in the practical test in a perhaps a little bit more logical or systematic way and make it easier for you to deal with the questions as they presented to you.